Hey there, my name is Brent Vanderswag, and I'm the president of Gutter-Experts.com and founder of Gutter-Con, which is being held in Orlando, Florida, February 10th to 12th, 2023 at the Gaylord Palms Resort and Convention Center. I love to chat with people in the gutter industry, suppliers, inventors, manufacturers, and gutter guys and gals just like you and me. I enjoy finding out how they got into the business, where they came from, and what their businesses are doing in the gutter industry today. Please meet my guest for today, Meaghan Likes of Likes Accounting Company, based out of Northern California. She is also co-owner of Jeff Likes Clean Windows and Gutters, and she also runs an admin boot camp with 4 other partners. Meaghan, you've been on my little show a couple other times. Thanks for coming again today.
Thank you. I'm always happy to be here hanging out with you.
Yeah,
nerding
Happy
out
New
about
Year.
all things gutters. Happy New Year.
Yeah. So what's new and exciting in California these days?
Oh, let's see. You and I were just talking about how we're gonna be hanging out in Mexico soon. Wait, is
Yeah.
that a
Oh,
secret? I thought whenever I tell
thanks for
you,
bringing that up.
yes, okay, you're
It
welcome.
is a work-related trip,
It
right?
is
Completely work-related.
It's a really intense experience. So minor plug for Breakthrough Academy. Bren and I are both members. I love them very much, and they put on a pretty epic event. Not as epic as Gutter-Con, however. So I'm excited because, like, last year, I don't know, we were in how many cities together? I feel like we hung out every month.
Yeah, it's been a busy year for sure.
So this year we're headed to do that again, and so I'm deep in goal setting and planning and getting ready for 2023.
Yeah, well, this is my first year going, and I wasn't even going to go just because I've been so busy, but I just felt for me, in my small business here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, we're going through a lot of changes, and I didn't want to put it off another year. So I quickly made the decision. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about Breakthrough Academy and Winter Summit quickly?
It's like the best thing I've ever done for my company. So we've been in business maybe 16 years. Last year was our first Winter Summit. It was held in Phoenix. And they had me look at my company in a way that I'd never looked at before. I think I prepared almost 60 hours for that work trip, which people are like, you're going to Mexico for work. And I'm like, if you knew the amount of work I put into this, like it's really, and I'm bringing it up because Bren was just lamenting about like, why do they need to know? And that's so much work. And I'm like, I know, but there's a reason to their madness. So I just got back from a little over a week in Hawaii for my husband's birthday. And this was the only work I took with me, was getting ready for this. And I love this like mindset shift that happens about it's a new year and it's kind of a blank slate. And when we reflect on the past year and the year before, what did we want to get right? What didn't we get right? Where are we headed? So I really like the worksheet that they put together. And then the event itself is really unique because it's kind of like you put your plan under peer review. So there are 3 companies that are just going to tear apart my business plan for the next year. And I love it because then when you get home, you're actually more likely to actually accomplish the goals. You're more likely to put it into action. So I'm bummed we're not in the same group, but I'm excited that we're going to be in the same place. And I am excited because it kind of goes along with our theme for Gutter-Con. So when we got together and we're like, what am I going to talk about at Gutter-Con? I said, I'm really into goal setting right now. Like it's kind of my jam. And so this is all helpful. Like these are all different iterations of how do you set a goal? And maybe more importantly than setting a goal, how do you achieve a goal? I had some big mindset shifts with goal setting in 2022 with my window cleaning company. Like you, we went through a lot of shifts and transitions and leadership changes. And so, what's possible? What do we want it to be? And then how do we build a plan to achieve those goals? So I don't know.
There's a lot to it,
but like, it's the beginning of the year, guys. Like I'm excited for this new year. Like I'm excited to see what plays out this year. And I'm putting a lot more like mini goals along the way. So my team has daily goals and weekly goals, and we've built out a lot of accountability around those. And so it's just, I feel like everybody's rowing in the right direction. It's the same direction, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about, it's not real exciting for me going through all the stuff we're going through. My son Kobe is helping. And
Kobe.
today we were reviewing some numbers, and um, one of the things, I'm just going to take a look at something here.
He was just bragging to our listeners. He was just bragging about his loaded labor percentage. And I mean, as an accountant, that just makes my heart sing. Like the fact that, I think you just shared with me, like from 2017
Yeah.
to present, like, kind of watching trends, especially as
Yeah.
we watch like inflationary times and we think
Yeah.
about how we're paying our people more.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like, these exercises are what allow me to do that, right? Like last year I committed to paying my people a living wage in the state of California. And then you have to set a goal and a budget to actually make that happen so that you're
Yeah.
not losing your shirt. So.
Well, it's funny you bring that. Well, I shouldn't say it's funny, but you bring that up, and a living wage, like it's always seems like my guys are, come Monday or Tuesday, they're like out of money. Now, for me, I've always kind of said to myself, oh, well, you blew your money on the weekend. And, if you just worked more, you'd make more money. But that's not really even the case. Like I know up here in Canada, once you get to a certain level, when you work an extra 10 hours, like the money that you make is so minimal because most of it goes to taxes. Like there's no, like, why would you work 10, 15 more hours? Like this is, I'm assuming how they look. Why, this is how they look at it. Why am I going to work 10 or 15 more hours, miss my Saturday, spend it with my wife and kids? And then, I might have made 250 extra dollars, but I paid 200 extra in taxes. That's how people kind of look at it now, right? So,
well, I live in the US, so our tax rate is not that bad. And for any American listening to this, listen to what Brenda said again when you complain to your tax accountant. Yeah, that's the other thing I'm doing is getting ready. I'm head in the sand. I'm not going to talk about tax season until, the third week of January, but definitely buttoning up a lot of books. I had several meetings this morning with my bookkeepers about getting everybody's books finalized so that they can do their planning. And
well, since you bring that up,
yeah.
what a lot of people have staff in their office and maybe a bookkeeper or an admin person in their office, bigger companies, and they do that. It's a regular day-to-day thing. But what about these smaller guys that aren't doing, they don't have someone to rely on every day or every week or even every month for that matter? I mean, what sort of things should they be doing now that the year is over?
I feel like you should just let it go.
Yeah.
I feel like last year's over, close it out, do it however you've always done it and be done. But it is a new year and there's no excuse not to be tracking your numbers on a weekly basis. You as the owner, I feel like that is your key job as an owner, and you can pretty much delegate almost everything else, but the money management, I feel like that's nobody's going to care about our money like we do. So as owners, that's not something we can delegate. That's not something we can abdicate from. Like we have to get a handle on our money. And Breakthrough Academy, this is turning into a Breakthrough Academy commercial, but they do a really good job. We'll send them a bill. Yeah, we'll send them a bill. They do a really good job of helping us, like, and helping our team kind of focus on the right numbers that we want to be paying attention to. So they have something, like they have this business plan that you kind of update throughout the year, and it looks at your money from a bunch of different angles. So I spent a lot of time over the past 2 weeks kind of thinking about the key leadership positions of my gutter cleaning company and like, what is my sales manager's job? Like, what are they accountable for? What do I expect from them? What does good look like? And kind of defining that for them. And that's going to be fluid a little bit. Like my February is very different than my June, which is very different than my December, right? But kind of setting up some good goals for that person so that they feel like, wow, hey, look, I achieved this thing. And we're not waiting till the end of the year to be like, well, that sucked. We're doing it on a weekly basis. Same for my production manager. Like if I set this goal that I want to achieve this much in revenue for the year, I need somebody who's in a leadership position in my company to look at it every single week and be like, we're going to hit our goal or we're not going to hit our goal. You can't wait till the end of the month or the end of the quarter. And then, you were bragging about you weren't bragging. You were kind of bragging. Rightfully so. You're bragging.
I was very proud.
I am proud of you about your labor percentage. And I feel like that's so important.
19.6.
Yes. It's so important to know if you're profitable or not. So really getting a handle on gross profit to start. And then I'm trying to make this leap where I have a very, very good leadership team at my window cleaning, gutter cleaning company, and I want them to help me focus on net profit. And how do you understand what your job that you do every day, which might just be just answering the phones from the admin perspective, how can my admin help drive profitability in my company? And I love that because, well, we have admin boot camp, which is going to be at Gutter-Con this year.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
I'm so excited about that because our admins are just probably the key position in our company, but we don't treat them that way. And so one of the things I talk about at Admin Bootcamp, there's 5 of us talking about 5 really great things about how to level up your admin. But one of the things I talk about is this idea that you can actually be the profit center of your company. Your job is not just to answer the phone. Your job is to fill the calendar. And here's what that looks like. Here's the impact of your work on a daily basis. If you answer the phone with a friendly voice, how that actually drives revenue and profitability to your owner. And that's really empowering. People want to know, how are they doing, and are they doing a good job, and how can they do better? And Martha talks a lot about that at Admin Bootcamp. She talks about this transparency with our team. So yeah, I'm so excited. Plus, last year, I said Gutter-Con was the most fun conference I went to. And I went to some really, really epic ones, but none that invited me to a skybox at a hockey game or to a concert in like the most epic place ever, Red Rocks. So you've got a high bar to meet.
I know that's one thing that I'm worried about this year, although it is going to be cool this year. Did you look at the VIP tickets yet?
No.
Okay, so on Friday, have you ever heard of Top Golf? I don't think you're much of a golfer, are you?
Yeah. Jeff's a huge golfer. I go to Top Golf. It's like bowling for non-golfers. That's how I describe it.
It's really fun. And so we're doing Top Golf on Friday night, and on Saturday night we're going to a skybox at an NBA game. So basketball. So let me see, Orlando Magic versus Miami Heat. So 2 rivals.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
We'll definitely be getting our VIP tickets because, and if you're going to Gutter-Con, I waited. I kind of dragged my feet, and Bren was like, Meaghan, you're not going to want to miss this. You're going to have serious FOMO if you miss it. And I was like, yeah, but I don't like hockey, and I don't know.
That's awesome.
And it was so awesome. So if you're on the fence, take it from me. Don't wait.
Well,
I think definitely had to twist your arm into getting me one more ticket, and you were like, stop stressing me out.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad. It was so worth it.
Now, let me ask you this. It's too late for this now. But if people would have bought their Gutter-Con tickets in December, would that, let's say that they made money and they needed the expense, would it have been smart to do that?
I do a whole class about that. I feel like it depends on where you stand. And I don't know. I like to preface, I'm a recovering tax accountant or retired tax accountant. I'm not your tax accountant. But there is lots of year-end tax planning you can do. And I think it's contingent on how profitable were you? How much cash do you have in the bank? So if you are in a position where you are sitting on a high net profit at the end of the year and a lot of cash, sometimes it makes sense to front load some of your expenses or prepay some of your expenses before the end of the year. But I always just recommend that you consult with your tax professional because they'll give you better advice. But I like to look at cash.
You can pay for it the month before. And let me ask you this, being only January 4th, you may not want to answer this question, but could I backdate an invoice today?
No, not
Well, who would ever know?
I would.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wouldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, wink, wink, I get it.
I'm not going to let our ethics come in question. And your ethics are better than that too. So if you missed out on this year, I bet there's going to be a Gutter-Con next year, and you can do that in December. And maybe Bren and I will be organized in December and remind you to do it before the end of the year. We'll do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're really busy, but what have you got on the agenda for Gutter-Con? You're going to be speaking there. What are you going to try to get across to people this year?
Yeah. So at GutterCon, we're talking about goal setting. So we're going to talk about the mindset shift of 5 years from now. So I like a lot of these books that talk about building a company that's built to last, right? We're working towards something that's not short-sighted. I started working with a company to help me build out my leadership team at my accounting company last year. They're called Bergflow. And I went to Bergflow and I said, well, now I realize I'm saying this publicly, but that's okay. It's not a secret. I said I wanted to sell my accounting company in the next 18 months. And they said, well, we're sorry, but we have no interest in helping you with that goal. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, that's not what we do. That's too short-sighted. And I was like, huh. But they have a very expensive price tag. It's worth it. It's an investment. And I was like, but I will pay you to help me build this to sell it in 18 months. And look, and I'd already done all the math and I knew what I wanted for it. I knew what I had to do. And we just had to recruit and hire the right key positions. And they said, yeah, but we're only interested in helping companies that want to be built to last. And I was like, huh. And so they said, what if you could shift your mindset about building this company and then making it what you want it to be? So whatever that mission is, if this is to be a good employer for, in my case, stay-at-home moms, or if my window cleaning business, gutter cleaning business, we really pride ourselves on being a second chance employer where people can come to us and if they're willing to be honest and ethical and loyal and work hard, we will hire them and we will invest in them and we will give them a career and benefits and we'll talk about retirement and financial education and we'll help them get a house. That's kind of our passion of our window cleaning company, even though it's mostly absentee now, even though it's mostly passive. My husband and I work on average together in that business less than 8 hours a week, and we're gone over 30 weeks a year. But that business is a key employer for our town. And we deliver exceptional quality service. So I'm really proud of that. So Bergflow said, what if we could do that with your accounting company? And I was like, but I just want to sell it. And he's like, well, then go find somebody to help you sell it. It's not us. And so once he helped me with that mindset shift, I started realizing how many people have this block where you're like, I'm just going to set a goal for 2023. I'm just going to, and it's going to be, 40% higher than it was in 2022. And so I built out a calculator, and it was a goal setting calculator that I'm going to give away at GutterCon. And this is like a mind blowing Excel file. And I'm going to walk you through it, and we're going to set a 5-year big, hairy, audacious goal together at GutterCon. And Bren's not giving me very much time to do this, so I'm going to have to talk real fast, but we're going to do it. We're just going to say, okay, at this growth rate with this profitability, where would we be in 5 years? And what I'm learning is a lot of owners are short-sighted and they can't see that far ahead because we're busy putting out fires and we're busy dealing with the drama of employees and all of this stuff. And then what I love about this goal setting calculator is I'm not just going to give you a big ass number for 5 years from now, but I'm also going to break it down and say, this is how many clients you need. This is how much you have to spend on advertising. This is how many employees you need. This is how many trucks you need. And you know what happens? That number is not big and scary anymore. Now that number is bite size.
Yeah.
And as entrepreneurs, what I found when I give this talk, and I've given this talk about 4 times now, so it's not going to be brand new or novel, but it's tried and true, is what happens is as entrepreneurs is we go, challenge accepted. Yes, please. I'm going to go build that big company because it aligns with my mission. It aligns with my values. And that is what I want to wake up and do every day for the next 5 years. And you have the right to change your mind. But for now, if I can just get you to think a little bigger,
because you're going to go through the same process next year, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so things may change yet even again. Well, it's neat that we're talking about it because I was, Kobe and I this morning were just going through our numbers and we were talking about, what's a realistic goal for next year. And so we picked a number and we're like, wow, is that possible, do you think? But when you know the numbers, we were sitting down, we were figuring out
your average ticket, right?
Yeah.
When you double your average ticket, then you need half as many clients.
Yeah.
Well, what if you had the same number of clients, but doubled your average ticket? Then you could double next year.
Well, that was the other number we were looking at. One of the numbers that I always have kept track of was revenue per man hour. So who cares whether it was a $20 an hour guy or a $15 an hour guy or a 25, it didn't matter. Man hours. And so I always kept track of that. And I'm pretty proud of that number too. So over the years, my revenue per man hour has been as low as, I'm even embarrassed to say it, but I'm going to say it.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay, I won't.
Say it. No, say it. I want to know, what is it?
Oh, $50.74. No, that was back in 2013. But since 2013, I've steadily grown it. I got it up to 77. Then it dropped again a little bit. I don't know why it dropped, but anyway, we are at, for 2022, $110. So we already know that, you know, for example, if we want to do $1.1 million in revenue, we probably have to put in 10,000 man hours.
Mm-hmm. And then if you know that your guys are 75% efficient, and you know the average guy works 2,080 hours a year, you know you need 6 guys, and you can put 2 guys in a truck, and that means 3 vehicles. And
that's right. Exactly. That's what we are working through.
This is all a math exercise, and I love it. I teach a class called Profits to Freedom. It's a 6 weeks to financial freedom course inside of my monthly membership group. And we go through that exercise because for me, I love this revenue per man hour number. I bonus my technicians, my lead technicians, and my production manager all on that number. Because I feel like if you've got that dialed in, everything else is dialed in. But that number for me, when I had a turning point, was, what is your break even dollar amount per man hour? And for me, as my company has grown, as my leadership team has grown, as my overhead has grown, as I've gotten a little bit fat, that's what I like to say in my company, my break-even point is $83 an hour. I cannot afford to do any job, any work for less than $83 per man hour. And once you know that, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to pay to go work for people, right? Like, I'm not running a charity in this business. Right. So, I love that you focus on those numbers, and we're going to talk about that at Gutter-Con. We're not going to be able to go into break-even analysis. That's a little bit complex to do in a group setting, but we're totally going to talk about, if your target is 110 per man hour, then how many guys do you need, and how many hours do you need them to work? And if you live in a place like Bren does, you've got to condense that into how many months.
Well, we talked about that today too, but surprisingly, we looked at, I mean, there are days and weeks that we work less, of course, but on average, we still can provide a full-time job up here in Canada. You might work 23 or 24 hours one week in February or March, but you know, you can easily get 45, 50, 55 hours in summer. So
I love that.
I like talking about averages.
Yeah. And then Breakthrough Academy kind of gives us this plan for the year. And they tell us, like, I'd never looked at my company that way. So if you want to do 1.1 million, what percentage of that are you going to produce in which months? And so now February's aren't so stressful for me, because first of all, there's less working days. Second of all, the weather's crappy where I live, you know? Yeah. And so now I'm like, well, I just know in February, I'm going to do less, but in June, those long days, I'm going to do more, and it's going to work out. So I know I love this planning stuff. I love that we're both in this together, and it's cold where I am. So I'm looking
don't even talk to me. How cold?
I want to we're going to go to Mexico, and then we're going to go to Florida, Bren.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And we're going to change our businesses this year. It's going to be a really great experience at Gutter-Con. Admin Bootcamp is the 2 days. Well, it's the day before and the first day.
That's right.
And I'm going to be speaking the second day of Gutter-Con.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go see a basketball game, which sounds awesome.
Yeah. Well, you got to get your VIP ticket for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to do it.
Okay. Well, listen, I gotta get going, because I'm buying a new Speedo tomorrow for Mexico.
Oh boy, I can't wait. I'm lucky. I just got back from Hawaii, so I've tested all the swimsuits in this winter version of my body. Let's see. I think I have a Gutter discount for you for Admin Bootcamp.
Yeah.
I think I do.
And by the way, just so if people who are listening, if they're interested, you can go to our gutter-con.com page. There's a link there, and you can even, I just put up a ticket for Admin Bootcamp through our website also.
Perfect. I love it. And so if they use coupon code Gutter250, they'll get $250 off. and get your VIP tickets. Don't forget that. And what did you say? You said the hotels. Like, we got to book our hotels in the next 8 days.
Yeah. So today being January 4th, January 12th is our cutoff date. I'm trying to get it extended, but it's Florida and it's February. It's like the most popular place on earth. So they're not going to give me too much leeway. So if you're thinking about coming, you gotta do it. Now, just before I let you go, just getting back to admin boot camp, your ticket price is pretty high. Can you just explain what's involved? Because I've already talked to one person and they're like, wow, why is it so much? But the hotel's included. Go ahead, tell us.
Well, so the hotel is not included. Everything, and the airfare is not included, but we're going to feed your admin. Yeah. We're going to pick your admin up from the airport. We're going to take them to the learning. We are going to give them snacks. We're going to give them drinks. We're going to give them the investment of our time, which is something that I think if you're an owner listening to this, you fall a little bit short on, because our admins are the ones that we don't train. So here's what we've heard. We've run this 2 times. The price has been in a similar ballpark. It's always been above $2,000. It's an investment, but you're investing in the key position in your company. You're investing in your profit center, and you've probably never invested in them before. So by you saying, I'm going to spend this money and I'm going to send you to this place and I'm going to ask you to learn from these people, they're going to come back to you with a whole new level of confidence and competence. So the owners from the last boot camp, they said, I had 100% of the owners from last boot camp say that they got their money back on the first day of their admin coming home. Wow. The first day of the admin coming home and answering the phones or answering the emails or putting a policy or procedure in place was it. I have owners who tell me, I don't have a rock star admin. I don't have anybody I want to send. And I say, send whoever's there and let them build the system for you. Because when your admin leaves, this is different than conferences. This is doing. When they leave, they're going to have a call flow that converts. So they're going to tee up. If you don't do sales over the phone, they're going to tee up your sales guy to improve your conversion rate. They're going to tee up your customer to increase your average ticket. They're going to have a call flow that builds empathy and rapport, that increases your reviews from your clients, that increases your happiness from your employees. They're going to have a KPI dashboard that's going to help you do what I was just talking about. Like, how do we hold the team accountable? How do we hit the company goals? Your admin can do that all for you. And I'm going to teach them how. We're going to show them how to save time on their emails. We're going to show them how to read books that will make a difference in your company culture. We talk about this company dashboard, which is basically like your business playbook. They're going to build that for you while they're at boot camp. And we do a lot of that together. I didn't even mention marketing. We teach them how to use Canva so they can do social media stuff. They can do employee engagement stuff.
That's really important lately, isn't it?
It is. And our ringer is, we have a woman from Power Selling Pros, and she's charged out at $10,000 a day. She's going to be with your admin for 2 whole days. That's $20,000 of the best brain I know. And she's going to talk about how to get credit cards on file and how to, be nicer to the clients and how to not say words that they should not say on the phone. Like, unfortunately, or our policy is. This woman is going to teach your admin how to speak to your clients in a way that you never thought was possible. And they're going to come back to you just really stoked that you value them, because now they're going to see it and know it, and that you really see how important their position is. So
Awesome.
I stand by the price. I'm going to keep raising the price because I practice what I preach, and I'm going to keep delivering exceptional value, because this admin position is a key.
It is. I've noticed that over. And you know what? I think as business owners in the past, it's been like the least paid position. Right?
In my company, my admin makes the most.
Yeah.
My admin makes more than my production manager. And you know what? They all know it. Isn't that crazy? Oh, wow. Like, I'm very transparent about my pay also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. But nobody has a job without my admin.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Meaghan, thanks so much for jumping on this call today. And
I'll see you at Gutter-Con in Orlando, and I'll see you in Mexico before then.
Next week. That's next week. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
See ya.